Day 162 of 365 days of meditation. Um, just wrapped up a practice, probably about an hour and 5 minutes long. And yeah, nothing really significant other than just noticing, again, the volume of thoughts and the type of thoughts. A lot of mental energy and effort spent on hypothetical, imaginary situations that have never existed, will never exist, etc. Yeah, we're just hyper focused on that, expending a lot of mental bandwidth. Also noticed, because I watched a bit of television here while I'm house sitting for some family. I noticed the television show creep into my meditation, my mind again expending mental energy and effort processing what is really just entertainment. And not that there's anything wrong with entertainment. For myself personally, I find my mind wanders a lot, and if I have one less thing that I can distract it with or have it expend bandwidth on, maybe unnecessarily, it's probably sort of TV fluff. In this case, I've been watching, I just finished the Peaky Blinders. My wife and I had watched that quite a few years back when we had a television still, and so yeah, we watched the last season here, or what I think is the last season anyway. But yeah, I'm noticing that kind of just that show, the plot creeping into my mind, the characters creeping into my mind. And I would never notice it if I wasn't meditating, but it's definitely there in the background. It has to be. Otherwise, it wouldn't pop up in meditation. So yeah, just expending mental effort on things that, if I'm being honest, are not really important to my life. So I guess that's what I'm noticing. And then also kind of having the thought, like, how do I better curate what is going on autopilot in the subconscious? So, like I said, these scenarios that I'm thinking about or dwelling on or imagining or ruminating on, or and garble from the day, in this case television, how do I replace that with something that is going to A, be encouraging to me, B, sort of forge or cement a crystal clear vision of a life I want, and have my mind on autopilot, thinking, ruminating, obsessing about that instead, because at least I'm expending bandwidth on something that is useful and that will help me at a subconscious level move me towards that which I want or desire. And I guess the first step is to figure out exactly what it is that I want and desire. And maybe a good exercise is to just start writing that out. Get back to journaling, start writing it out every day, what it is that I want, and it's probably definitely going to morph and change over time. And just write it out every day. What is it that I want and desire in that moment, in my life in general? And yeah, maybe I'll start drilling some of that into the subconscious, and that will start being my habitual way of thinking. And sort of, given the way I know the default mode network and the RAS, the reticular activating system, work, and just the subconscious mind in general as well, I think that will be, from what little I understand about it anyway, I think that will be a useful way to ensure that I'm not expending mental bandwidth and effort and energy on things that are not important to me, and that even when I'm not consciously focusing on what I want, that will be what is running in the background of my subconscious and will ultimately direct me towards better decisions and actions that will align me with what it is that I'm looking for and what I want. And it'll happen somewhat automatically if I can drill it into the subconscious. So anyway, that was my thought for today. That was what I came out of meditation with. As always, I started this channel and shooting these videos and meditating for 365 days to see how it would impact my mental health and well-being, and it definitely has, made significant improvements just in terms of stability. At this stage in my life, it wasn't that my mental health I wasn't in a really bad place all the time or often like I was when I was younger. It was just more the sort of ups and downs. Maybe the highs were a little too high, the lows were a little too low, and the cycles were definitely a lot smoother than they were when I was younger. But now I'm just sort of aiming to level it out, so to speak, so that the highs aren't too high, the lows aren't too low, and I'm just kind of feeling good, generally speaking, more often. So yeah, anyway, that was the purpose of doing this. And so as always, I would say that if you're in a place right now where you're struggling with your mental health and you feel unable to cope with your mental and emotional state, you're worrying excessively, ruminating, and I don't mean to the levels that, where I sort of notice it in meditation. I mean like to the extreme, where it's significantly negatively impacting your quality of life. Don't suffer in silence. I can say I've been there, done that. It accomplishes nothing. It really only makes things worse. And I know firsthand that talking to people about mental health, definitely, if you're struggling with it, can be something that you build up into something that will seem like it's going to be horrible, and it can only be horrible. But from my experience, it's the exact opposite. When I finally decided to break the silence and talk to people about what I was doing, it really only made things better. So I would encourage you, if you're in that state, again, don't suffer in silence. Talk to somebody, talk to somebody, talk to somebody. Help yourself and help end the stigma around mental health. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day.